Right now, as you watch this video, something terrifying is happening. The world is drowning. Not in water, not in war, but in debt. So massive, so uncontrollable, that it grows by $1 million every 3 seconds. A debt bomb worth $300 trillion ticking quietly underneath our global economy. A bomb that governments pretend doesn't exist. Banks profit from, and ordinary people will pay for. But here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. This system isn't broken, it was designed this way. And today, we're going to follow the cracks, all the way to the collapse. $300 trillion. Try to imagine that. If you stacked $300 trillion one bills, the pile would reach the moon 80 times. If you paid back $1 million every hour, it would still take you 34,000 years. This number doesn't make sense. It wasn't meant to. But here's the truly disturbing part. We didn't borrow this money to build a new world. We borrowed it just to keep the old one alive. In the 80s, global debt was $40 trillion. In 2000, $100 trillion. After 2008, $200 trillion. After 2020, it exploded to over $300 trillion. The world isn't in debt because of crises. Crises happen because the world is in debt. Debt is dangerous, but interest is lethal. Every day, the world pays over $1.3 trillion per year in interest alone. That's more than the GDP of Australia. Just burned, gone, into the financial black hole. And here's something almost no one mentions. Most of the interest is paid not to governments, but to private banks. Banks don't need your savings. They create money when you borrow. Money that didn't exist yesterday, but demands real repayment tomorrow. This is why the system must create more debt each year. If debt stops growing, the financial system doesn't just slow down. It collapses. Like a shark, it dies the moment it stops moving. For thousands of years, every empire, from Rome to Britain, followed the exact same pattern. Economic boom, military expansion, overspending, money printing, collapse. Rome debased its currency by mixing cheaper metals into coins. The French monarchy printed paper money until inflation destroyed trust. The British Empire borrowed until its currency lost global dominance after World War II. Today, the same pattern is repeating, but this time, it's not one empire. It's the entire global system. Because for the first time in human history, every major economy is massively in debt at the same time. The US, Europe, Japan, China. There is no healthy nation left to stabilize the world. This has never happened before. To understand the crisis, you need to understand one thing. The US dollar is the world's oxygen. 80% of global trade uses the dollar. 60% of all central bank reserves are dollars. 90% of forex trading involves the dollar. When countries borrow, they borrow in dollars. When companies collapse, they collapse in dollars. So when the US raises interest rates to fight inflation, the entire world suffocates. Argentina? Already imploding. Turkey? Currency collapse. Pakistan? Near default. Egypt? 70% devaluation. Nigeria? Freefall. Sri Lanka? Government overthrown. And now even developed nations feel it. Japan? Holding interest rates near zero to avoid a bond market implosion. Europe, suffocating under energy subsidies. China, dealing with a real estate collapse larger than the 2008 crisis. The dollar is strong, but the world is breaking under its weight. Global debt is massive, but beneath the surface is something even more terrifying: derivatives. Financial contracts built on top of other financial contracts, worth an estimated $600 trillion. Some estimates go up to $1 quadrillion. This market works only if interest rates stay predictable, currencies stay stable, debt never spirals out of control. But guess what? Interest rates are rising, currencies are collapsing, debt is spiraling. This is the equivalent of balancing skyscrapers on top of melting ice. In 2008, a tiny corner of the derivatives market, mortgage swaps, almost destroyed the world. Today, the system is 40 times bigger. One unexpected shock could trigger a chain reaction no government can stop. When debt becomes unpayable, governments have only 3 choices. Option 1: raise taxes. People revolt, literally. France, Chile, UK, Serbia, Netherlands. We already saw this movie. Option 2, cut spending, austerity. But cutting pensions, salaries, and healthcare? Politically impossible. No government survives it. Option 3, print money. The easiest solution, and the most catastrophic, because printing money causes inflation. Inflation creates more debt. More debt requires more printing. It's a death spiral, and spirals always end one way, with a crash. If you look at official statistics, everything looks fine. But here's the truth governments won't admit. We are already in a global recession. Real wages are falling. Household savings are collapsing. Corporate bankruptcies are rising. Governments are quietly failing. Banks are freezing lending. Consumers are drowning in credit. This isn't recovery. This is a system desperately trying to hide the symptoms of failure. A storm doesn't always start with thunder. Sometimes it begins with silence. So what happens when the $300 trillion bomb finally detonates? Nobody knows the exact trigger. It could be a major country default, a real estate implosion, a banking collapse, a derivatives chain reaction, a currency meltdown, or simply time. But one thing is certain. The current system cannot survive the next decade. Debt is not a tool anymore. It's a time bomb. A bomb built by every government, profited from by every bank, and paid for by every ordinary person. History is clear. Every bubble bursts. Every empire falls. Every debt gets wiped clean. The only unanswered question is, who will pay the price this time? And when the reset comes, will we even see it coming?